Check one, check two.
Alright, listen up, because I'm about to school some of you so-called anime fans. You know, the ones who think Demon Slayer is peak storytelling and that every anime needs to have an overpowered protagonist with zero personality. You kids wouldn't last a damn second in the golden age of anime, because if you did, you'd know that Eureka 7 is one of the most criminally underrated sci-fi masterpieces of its time. And no, it's not some generic mecha anime where dudes just punch each other in giant robots. It's an actual story with depth, emotion, and a world that feels lived in. So, let's break this down. What the hell is Eureka 7? Why does it still slap? And why Eureka 7 AO tried to follow up but just couldn't hit the same high? At its core, Eureka 7 is not just about mechs. It's a coming-of-age story, a love story, and a rebellion wrapped in a sci-fi world that actually makes sense. We follow Renton Thurston, a 14-year-old kid stuck in a boring-ass town who dreams of flying in the sky, riding the waves of trapar particles, basically airborne energy currents, and living an exciting life like the legendary mercenary group Gecko State. His dad was a hero who saved the world, but Renton, he's just a punk kid with a dream. That changes when a beautiful, mysterious girl named Eureka crash lands into his life, literally in a biomechanical mech called the Nervosh Type 0. One thing leads to another, and Renton finds himself recruited into Gecko State, thinking it's going to be a fun adventure. Spoiler alert, it's not. Instead, he gets thrown into a world of war, loss, and harsh realities, learning that heroism isn't about being a badass, it's about making tough choices and growing the hell up. What makes Eureka 7 hit so hard is that it doesn't hold your hand. It's not about mindless action, it's about growing pains, love, trauma, and identity. Renton and Eureka's relationship isn't some shallow anime romance, it's messy, complicated, and real. And the world building? Pure perfection. This isn't your generic post-apocalyptic sci-fi setting. The story is set in a world dominated by a living organism called Scub Coral, an alien life form that has reshaped the planet. The government, led by the military organization, the Federation, is in a brutal war against Gecko State and anyone who challenges their authority. There's politics, moral dilemmas, and a deep mythology that slowly unravels over 50 episodes. And let's not forget the music. The soundtrack is a goddamn masterpiece. You don't get modern anime putting in this kind of effort anymore. Every song, every beat fits perfectly, blending drum and bass, techno and rock into something Eureka 7 made its own. So yeah, it's not just another Mecha anime, it's a full experience. And it's definitely worth watching. Now, there's also a sequel called Eureka 7 AO, which drops years later, and let's be real, it had an impossible task. Following up a masterpiece is always a struggle, and AO tried to do its own thing, but it didn't quite stick the landing. This time the story follows Ao Fukai, Eureka's son, who gets caught in a war between humanity and mysterious invaders called Secrets. The problem? Ao has no idea where his mother went, why the world is different from what it should be, and why he seems to be caught in some kind of timeline manipulation. That's right, AO goes full time travel multiverse bullshit, which honestly feels like it wasn't necessary. That said, AO has its moments. The animation is slick, the action is fluid, and it explores some really dark and interesting themes like identity, the burden of legacy, and the consequences of Eureka 7's ending. But where Eureka 7 was all about slow, careful world building and deep emotional payoffs, AO tries to rush things and cram too much into a shorter runtime. It lacks the same soul. Still, it's not bad. It just doesn't live up to the original. It's worth watching if you want to see what happens to Eureka's legacy, but don't expect it to hit the same emotional highs. So, if you want to complete the series, you can definitely watch AO to get some closure and witness a good storytelling which modern anime are lacking these days. Now moving on to why modern anime fans need to watch Eureka 7. Now, here's the part where I flex on modern anime fans a little. If you think Eureka 7 is too slow or not exciting enough, that just means you're too used to brain-dead shonen anime where power levels are all that matter. Eureka 7 isn't here to spoon-feed you hype moments. It's here to tell a story. It has actual character growth. Renton starts as an annoying brat and becomes a man by the end of the show. The romance isn't forced fan service, it's organic, filled with real pain and struggle. The mechs, or LFOs, aren't just power fantasies, they require skill, teamwork, and actual strategy to use. The world building is so well crafted that every faction, every piece of lore matters. Meanwhile, most of the trash today is just, main character gets overpowered in 5 episodes and wins because reasons. Where's the struggle? Where's the emotional depth? You know why Eureka 7 still holds up? because it doesn't treat its audience like idiots. It expects you to pay attention, to care about the characters, and to appreciate good storytelling. And if you don't have the patience for that, well, that's on you. So yeah, if you haven't watched Eureka 7, fix that mistake. And if you only watch the flashy, hype-driven anime of today, maybe sit down and learn what real storytelling looks like. That's it for today. Make sure to check our other videos on anime tropes, and please like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. Catch you in the next one. My mech pilots, keep flying in the skies.